My name is Alan Patrickson. I'm Head of Digital and Customer Services at Durham County Council. We tried some RPA work. We'd done some proof of concept work with a couple of programs already. What we found though was that when we wanted to move into larger scale work internally, we didn't really have certainly the market knowledge and we didn't have the internal expertise to make the kind of decisions, run the kind of trials that we wanted to run, which is really why we went back out to market, found T-Impact to help us through with that. The work we did with T-Impact had two distinct phases. The first phase was the market review. We knew that RPA was something that we wanted to work with. We knew we had some ideas as to how that was going to be implemented, but what we really needed was some expertise to flesh that out. But before that, we needed some expertise around the market and what product should we be buying. We'd had a look around the market. There seemed to be a wide range of products available, a wide range of prices. And without the expertise and the industry knowledge, what we found was that we weren't really confident about making good decisions. So the first piece of work we did with T-Impact was really that market review, to get them to review the market for us, advise us on the strengths and weaknesses of the different products out there, how we might use them, and how we might bring them to play for the four trials that we had in mind. So that was the first piece. The second piece was once we'd gone through that, once we'd chosen a product, how do we use that product in real life? It's one thing having the idea of using RPA. For us as a local authority, it's quite different to implement that, using the teams, the people we've got, the resources we've got. How do we get the most out of that? And then finally for us, how do we get knowledge transfer that puts us in a much stronger position after the project than we were at the start? We've had 4 really, really good trials with the product, and what we're seeing at the minute is that it is really increasing productivity. We know, we did some work in advance, so we know how long it took members of staff to do some of these repetitive tasks that we're now using RPA for, and already we're seeing significant benefits in that. We've done some trials on where it can be applied, so that some of the solutions we weren't sure that we could do with RPA, but actually what this trial has shown is that we can. So now we're looking at how we can do that more. So what we've done with our trials so far is we've really proven the concept of this. We've proven the concept that it will reduce requirements. We've proven the concept that it can do certain tasks. And we're now at the stage of ramping that up really into full-scale operation. We've had a lot of benefits through RPA. Certainly the skills transfer work that we've done has helped us not only with RPA, but many of the other sort of automation type projects that we've got. Working with T-Impact has really given us some excellent skills in-house that we didn't have before. It certainly increased productivity, and it's had some cultural benefits as well. Actually, just starting to use new techniques, modern techniques, has really changed the way a lot of people think about new techniques in the organisation. We found the whole experience of working with T-Impact is a really, really positive experience. They came into the project with a positive attitude, a can-do attitude, which we really liked. But of course, alongside that can-do attitude, you also need that expertise and that knowledge, and they brought that too. So we did see that as a really, really positive part of the project. They've been great to work with, and one of the main things that we've got out of it is that knowledge transfer. They've come in, they've worked with our teams, worked with our staff in a really positive way and left us much stronger than when we started this project. I think robotics has huge potential for local government. One of the things that we were really interested in was around about volume. We could see that we had repetitive tasks in the organisation, but even in Durham, which is quite a large local authority, we've got more than 500,000 residents. Even in Durham, we weren't sure that we had the volume for RPA, and we thought, well, maybe the robots won't be fully occupied. What we found through our trials is that there is huge potential, and not in terms of doing the same task and over again 7 days a week, but actually managing the robots in an intelligent way so that what we will see is that different tasks will get done at different times. We'll be able to switch RPA from one task to another. And through these trials, I think we've seen that we'll really get benefits out of this in the future. But it's still very early days for us, and we're still discovering quite a lot. You know, one of the things that was always really important for us out of this project was to make sure that our RPA future was a sustainable one. And what we couldn't do was just have someone come in, T-Impact, whoever else come in, do us a project and then leave. What we really needed out of this was to be able to make sure that in the future, this is a tool that we could work with. This is something we'll get continuing benefits out of. And one of our early conversations with T-Impact was around about how do we do that? How do we get the knowledge transfer? And how do we set up our own little team that can do this in the future? We found that working through them, they were fantastic working with our staff, bringing people along. 2 of our trials were in financial services, and we've got some excellent knowledge transfer within the financial service sector, so that it's going to be a big area for us, the RPA, with financial transactions. And really that's one of the areas that we've already got some significant knowledge transfer, and we have got our own little centre of excellence now. Mixing together those long-term local authority knowledge and skills with the new RPA knowledge and skills is starting to really pay dividends for us. 2 of the other trials that we did were around about data cleansing type trials. We already had people who were working with those databases day in, day out. They knew what the issues were, and what we've now been able to do is apply RPA to some of those challenges that we already had in the local authority for the T-Impact have helped us build new skills to solve. So we had 4 trial projects that we worked with T-Impact to deliver. They recommended through phase 1 of the project that we use UiPath as the RPA solution, which we're very happy with. It was a very good process that got us to that conclusion. The 4 processes that we chose, 2 in financial services, there was 1 data cleansing and then 1 HR process. In the financial services area, the first one that we did was notification of service, which is a process that really relates to when social workers want to call up services for clients. And there's a number of things they have to do to make that happen. One of those is obviously the financial element, and previously a very, very paperwork-heavy process. And we've used the RPA to really streamline that and to automate it. And it really has proven that that can be done. It's a really good project for that. So we've been very happy with the way that one's worked. The second financial services one was around about rent increases. And this is where we have large-scale rent increases from housing providers that go across a number of different properties and a number of different people. Again, very, very much a volume kind of piece of work, so that we have to make sure that everything ties up as each rent goes up. So again, something that normally we would use a lot of human resource to process, and actually again a really good example for us of where we've been able to use the RPA process to speed that up. Data cleansing, we looked at a data cleansing project because we thought that would be again a really good RPA type of project. We have a customer database in our CRM system. We knew previously there was already duplicates in that system. Duplicates arise because people can create their own accounts online, but also they can create them over the telephone when talking to customer services. And sometimes they just create them because they've forgotten that they already had one, or they're changing their password or something. So we knew there was duplicates in there. So writing rules for the RPA to go in there and start to clean that up, great use of RPA. It was a really good trial for us. And the fourth one that we did was an exercise in HR, which was around about post-creation. Again, another admin-heavy type of role, and again, a very good one for RPA, for UiPath and T-Impact to come and prove the concept for us. I think I would say to anyone thinking of using it is really have a good think about that, but also I think you've got to do the work up front to really think intelligently about how you're going to use it. I think RPA is not the answer to everything. It's like any tool. To get the most out of the tool, you have to use it in the most appropriate way. So I think you do have to think about where you would deploy RPA, how you would deploy RPA, and where you would get the benefits out of it. That was one of the things T-Impact helped us with, and again, UiPath when they came in with the product. So I would say absolutely have a look at it. I think it is going to be a tool of the future. It has to be used intelligently, but it's certainly something worth looking at. In terms of the 3 benefits, I think the first obvious one is automating processes, getting processes done quickly, getting processes done accurately, as long as the robot is programmed accurately, of course. So you do have to get that right. I think the second one is around about, obviously, the financial savings available from doing that. And again, the intelligent use of RPA will bring significant financial savings, not just in one area, but you can spread that across the organisation. You can use the RPA process intelligently with the orchestrator so that it's doing different things at different times and getting the benefits right across the organisation. I think the third one comes down to it's a bit of a strategic shift for us, and I think for everyone really. Certainly in the ICT digital world, I think RPA represents this kind of middle ground where we know that we can automate things, we know we can make better use of digital products, but we don't need coders and we don't need people in darkened room writing code to deliver these. What we need is a certain amount of technical skill, and it's developing that new technical skill, it's developing that new way of thinking about how we deliver our services, where we can get the efficiencies so that we can deliver our maximum resource on the front line in local authorities where people really need it. And the more that we can get out of things like RPA, things like the digital tools that we have, the more that we can make our back office more efficient and the more that we can put resource on the front line. So I think the third one is that development of that new way of thinking in the back office that I think is really, really important. The first part of our project with T-Impact was actually go out and do that market review for us and give us a really good analysis of the products on the market. They did that with professionalism, with expertise, and with real clarity for us. So they came back with the market review, with the top providers in the market, which would be more appropriate for us. They gave us costs and benefits of each. They gave us risks and advantages of each. And what we found through that market review was that the UiPath really fit what we were looking for absolutely superbly. But it was that professional approach to the market and that professional analysis that really swung it for us. So yeah, we found the UiPath product was really good. We analysed both the standard and the advanced capability of the product. The document processing, the workflow was all good. The audit features were all good. What we also liked was the bit about skills, so that we could use low coding skills. It didn't require deep coding. It didn't require the kind of technical experts that sit in a darkened room and build these things. So we were very keen on getting a product that we could operate like that. The pricing was right where we were looking for. The capabilities were right where we were looking for. And importantly for us, the scalability and the management features of it were really good. So UiPath came for us as the most appropriate product. At Durham County Council, our digital strategy has two really key important elements. The first is to be engaging with customers in a digital way to increase choice, so that customers can engage with us using new digital tools the way they would be happy to go engage with other organisations. The second part of our digital strategy is really around about our organisation itself, making it as efficient as it possibly can be, using as many of the modern digital tools and techniques that we can do. So one of the key ways we can be efficient as possible as an organisation is to make sure that we're using and making the best use of all of the most modern digital tools and techniques to keep ourselves efficient. One of the key reasons for that, in turn, is that the more we can be efficient in the back office, the more resource we've got to spend on the front line, which for all local authorities is what it's all about. It's about providing services to people. So we do have quite a large responsibility in making our organisations as efficient as possible. RPA is clearly an excellent way to do that. It clearly has a future that we will be exploring, and I'm sure others will too. It really is a fantastic way to deliver automation, not in a very, very difficult to organise sort of way, but in a real low-code, digital, flexible way, which will provide advantages in the future. So strategically, we do have to serve our customers digitally. We do have to serve ourselves digitally to make sure that we're as efficient as possible. RPA fits right in the middle of that. You know, I think any local authority really should at least have a look at RPA to see what kind of benefits they'll get out of it. I think all of us in the local authority world have repetitive transactions, things that traditionally we've had human beings doing, whether that's entering data, translating data, moving data from one system into another. I really think it's worth having a look. But I do think each individual authority has to really see where they're going to get the benefit out of that for themselves and really do that work up front. Otherwise, like any tool, you're not going to get the most out of it. For us, as we've already discussed, we saw that some of those financial transactions were really where we got some good benefit out of it. And I'm sure that's the same for all local authorities. You know, it's a heavily transaction-based world in finance, especially when it comes to rent, to council tax and benefits. So there is a lot of advantages in that world. Having said that, I do think every council should look at their own portfolio of transactions and really see where RPA fits in best. So for Durham County Council, we've got 4 brilliant pilots in the bag. We are now doing the evaluation to really put some hard numbers around the benefits that have come out of those. So that's a good piece of work for us. But already we've got more products, no, not products, projects. Sorry, this is the blooper reel. So for Durham County Council, we've got 4 really good pilot projects in the bag now. Really happy with those, and we're doing some good work now to really get some hard evaluation out of those to see what benefits we've really delivered. We've still got another 6 projects already lined up to move us ahead, and we're really interested in getting started on those. Some of those are in different areas of the council, social care, for example, where we're introducing some new services and potentially some new benefits. We're also really interested in how we're going to work to get the best out of the RPA products that we've got. We know that we've really only scratched the surface of the capabilities, and we're interested in using the orchestrator product to try and get some more out of that, to manage the robots more flexibly and to really get something out of it. So we feel we've got quite a lot to go at. We've got some good work in the bag, some really solid foundation to start from, and we're looking forward to taking that forward into more services and a brighter future.